everyone, Anna from Savvy Cat Realty here today talking to you about Tomar. Savvy Cat Realty is a buyer agency and we work with both rentals and purchases, always from a buyer perspective, and we have an ethical sustainability approach. We are worried about cultural, economical and environmental sustainability. You can learn more about us on our website www.savvycatrealty.com. So, like I was saying, today I am going to talk to you about Tomar. Tomar is a location, a city, pretty much right in the center of Portugal, and it is known as the Templar city, and it is full of history around Templars, and it has some amazing engineering feats made by the Templars. It is a city very connected to spirituality, and there is a very strong international community, especially British community, around this area. So, I actually did a company retreat in Tomar recently because it is the central point, and as a company that works in the whole country, in order to get all the team together, it made sense to find a place in the middle, and Tomar was the place picked. Tomar is a rather lovely city, but you can definitely see the theme around Templars. You know, everything is Templar in Tomar. You will find the Templar cross everywhere, and you will find all kinds of figurines and touristic souvenirs around to Templars. You will have, you know, Templar stores. You will have all kinds. Everything is themed around Templars. And you also have, you know, obviously the consequent medieval theme. And one of the things we did that was quite interesting is that we had dinner at a medieval restaurant in Tomar that I definitely recommend. And this is not a sponsored video. And we just really enjoyed it. You can see some of the pictures and the food, and it was very nice. And yes, go there, it's worth it. So, a bit about Tomar. Tomar is a riverside city. The river goes through the city, and it's actually very interesting that you have a park in the middle of the river, and that was actually also built by Templars, the structure itself. And they also have a very specific water drainage and control system that was designed by Templars. You can still see the old water mill and all that kind of thing. So it is a very pleasant city where you don't have a lot of high buildings, and you still see mostly typical architecture. You see a lot of, most of the streets on the historical center are still the cobbled streets, and you'd also have a lot of monuments. One of the things that you have from a more touristic perspective is the convent and the aqueduct, that are very beautiful locations and definitely architectural feats for the time. And the city itself, it's a fairly small city. It is, I would say it's a nice city for retirement. You don't have a lot of amenities there. There is a hospital, a private hospital that recently opened in the surroundings. But in order to live in Tomar, I would say that you really need to have a car, because public transportation is not very advisable. Well, within the city you can walk everywhere, and it's actually pretty flat, and that part is pretty nice. But to go outside the city, the public transportation is very lacking. So I definitely advise, if you are considering a location like this, to have a car. Regarding housing prices, it's still a very affordable location. It's in the interior of Portugal, and as such, it's not one of the locations with the most demand. You will still find prices in the center of the city below 2K, especially for apartments. For houses, there is actually an area that became kind of an expat hotspot, and the average price has risen to 3.22k per square meter, that it's called cabeças. So this is very much an expat-induced inflation, but mostly in the other areas you can still find very affordable prices with averages of 1,000, 1,200. And on the more surroundings on the city, so not on the centers of the city, on the outskirts, you can still mostly find averages below 1,000 per square meter. So it's a very interesting location, especially from a budget perspective. It's a very pleasant town. It definitely has restaurants and amenities and things to do, but it's also a small town. So if you would like to do something busier and, you know, have more of a social and cultural life, it does have cultural events, but they are limited. So once again, I would advise to have a car. In regards to distances, it's about 1 hour distance to Caldas da Rainha and Leiria, and about 2 hours from Lisbon. So if you are worried about an airport, you have to take that into account. The accesses by car are pretty good. You have highways and you have good accesses and good roads by car, so that's not a big issue. And it is definitely a charming town. You eat very well, that's definitely a thing. And you do have some cultural events, mainly around the Templar and medieval history of the town. It does have a very long history, so it is a very interesting town on that perspective. Around it you have mostly plains and some more mountainy areas. For example, we went to visit a castle also in the middle of a river that is about half an hour drive, and that location is one of those locations that is very affordable. It's south, and it's, well, a small village kind of location, so it's one of those places where you still find, you know, 700, 500 per square meter kind of prices. Of course, mostly older construction. You also can find some newer construction, you know, on the old town and on the center of the town. You will find mostly older construction. You don't find a lot of new construction. There is some new construction more on the outskirts of town and some new neighborhoods on the a bit further away from the centers, the city, the historical center. And also a bit more on the outskirts, you have some new villas being built with some lovely view for sure, that are going at expat prices, so do take that into account. But overall, it can be a lovely city to live in, and it is very charming and with a lot of history. We had a really pleasant time on the 2 days that we were there, and I also had been there before. It's also a nice city to visit from a touristic perspective, definitely. For living in, if you do like the quiet and peaceful lifestyle, but still have, you know, some amenities around you and some cultural events and have a rich history, it can definitely be a good fit. Especially regarding the budget, where it definitely is a very budget-friendly town, except for that one location where it's very expat inflated. But overall, you can still find pretty good deals, and you definitely have that expat foreign community that you can contact with and integrate into. So if you do think that Tomar is the place for you, feel free to reach out to us. The agent that covers that area is our center Caldas da Rainha agent, that is Diana. And we do cover the whole country. We offer rental and purchase service. For our rental services, you can purchase them directly on our website www.savvycatrealty.com. If you wish to work with us to purchase a property, We cover everything from visas, legal support, engineering and verification, renovation support, construction support. So we offer a very different kind of service and a very buyer centric service. And part of the way we work is to offer networking and integration services to help you integrate into your new house in Portugal. In order to work with us from a buyer perspective, you do need to schedule an advisory call with me. Advisory calls can be scheduled on our website. They do have a cost. That cost is deducted from the cost of the package. You also have all the information of our packages on our website on the buyer section, so you can find it there, our services, and select buying, and you'll have all the information on what our packages include there. And if you do wish to work with us, just reach out. You can also send us an email to contact@savvycatrealty.com or leave us a comment. We are also always happy to hear your opinion and feedback, and we always come back to you as soon as we can. So I hope that this video about Tomar was helpful and informative. If you do have any questions, once again, feel free to leave them below. And I will see you again soon. Bye.